Is Ohio's housing market about to break? I'm seeing signs that we could be crashing out in a way that nobody is talking about. And so if you are a home seller, a home buyer, an investor, heck, even a realtor, you need to stick around for tonight's live. You don't want to miss it. It's packed full of useful information on the housing market. My name is Jason Ferrier. I am the Ohio housing nerd. I've been a realtor and investor here in Central Ohio for the last 7.5 years. And good evening. This is a weekly ritual that we do here on the Ohio Housing Nerd, where we cover the latest housing market data. And tonight, we're going to look at, we're going to use Redfin, of course, but we're also going to use Resi Club Analytics. They have their brand new inventory map out. And so we're going to go county by county through Ohio and kind of look at what's happening in the Buckeye State with the housing market. But like, check this out. This is not good. This is a major concern I have as somebody who just follows the housing market. I help people buy and sell homes, obviously. I'm an investor, and, you know, more homes on the market is better as a buyer. It's just more healthy for the housing market. But right now, what we're seeing nationally, and this is translating into the local market here, is new listings. New listings are falling. So like nationally, for instance, we're around, we're about flat year over year with new listings. And in Franklin County, I've got this on my screen right now. In Franklin County, we're actually down 5.4% year over year with the number of new listings hitting the market. And this data is way ahead of like the local MLS. So if you're a realtor out there and you're watching this, thanks for joining us, by the way. But if you are, and you're relying on MLS data and their monthly update, you're behind the curve. Because a company like Redfin here, they will give us the data a lot sooner. And right now I'm seeing new listings falling in Franklin County. And then I've got new listings falling down year over year in Cuyahoga County. And then I look at a place like Hamilton County, where Cincinnati's located, down 2% year over year. So in a time when new listings should be rising for two reasons. One, it's the selling season still, right? So we should see more sellers putting their homes on the market. Number two, there's a narrative out there. I'm sure you've seen this on, the local news, or you've heard it from people in different areas of the media, that sellers are flooding the market. There's a lot more sellers than buyers out there. And that soon there'll be so many listings on the market that like prices will crash, because inventory does drive home prices. But what I'm seeing, inventory's been rising over the past year, 2 years or so, nationally and in Columbus, or, in Ohio. But shoot, now we're seeing new listings actually fall. Again, I'll share this, what I'm seeing in Franklin County. New listings are falling, and that's not good. Again, we want to see more new listings if you're hoping for prices to come down. So that's what I'm seeing. And it's starting to reflect in inventory. So look at this, and don't worry, we're going to get to all your requests on the counties that you want to review in Ohio. But now this is Resi Club Analytics data. If you don't know who Resi Club is, you should. The best real estate data, in my opinion, on the web, however you want to say it. So check them out. I don't know if the link's in my description yet, but I'll put it in there. But it's Resi Club Analytics, RESI Club Analytics. And so, like, for instance, here, look at Morrow County in Ohio. Look at the year over year shift in inventory, down 12%. And so lower new listings, if we can't get new listings to increase and they stay low, you're going to see active inventory fall. It's not only Morrow County, but if I take let's see if I can get rid of my box here. Yeah, if I take a look at just the map of Ohio here, right? you can see that like the brown spots are the where inventory's down year over year. Green is where inventory's up year over year. So there are a lot of areas in Ohio where inventory's high. So it's not all doom and gloom. It's not like, there aren't buying opportunities. There are opportunities, but I'm seeing this trend all of a sudden over the past, it's been over the past month. I've seen new listings nationally and in Ohio start to fall. And so Morrow County, you're down year over year in inventory. Look at this, Perry County down year over year in inventory. Licking County, where I live, down year over year in the number of homes for sale, down 0.5%. You're not going to hear people talk about this. You're going to hear, for the most part, especially in Ohio or central Ohio, you're going to hear people recite or regurgitate the MLS data, the MLS updates from the Columbus Board of Realtors. But that's like, Channel 6, 10 TV type news stuff, like broad baseline, way behind the curve, theoretical information. Instead, if you look at this data like I present it every week, you can see the trend is not good for active listings. And as a housing nerd, that really concerns me. I don't want to see that. I want to see green. I want to see more houses on the market so buyers can actually afford a home maybe. But prices, as you're going to see, they haven't really come down at all. In a lot of areas, they're actually at all-time highs in Ohio. So that's what we're going to look at tonight. If you have a metro in Ohio or a county you want me to review, I will review the inventory. We'll look at the home prices there and kind of give you a look at what's happening. If it's in central Ohio, I can actually pull up the MLS and dive into it more on a detailed basis. But if it's outside of central Ohio, then I'm going to have to use, Resi Club or Redfin. Anyway, that's my intro for tonight. But thanks for joining me. Who do I have on? Anybody yet? Let's find out. Chip Levan. Let's get jiggy with it. That's hilarious. Yeah. What's up, Chip? Thanks for joining us. All right. And if you are joining us, give me a thumbs up. It helps the channel a lot and it grabs the algorithm. YouTube will get more people involved, which is always good. So let's get right to it. If you have a county you want me to look at, we will look at it. Let's start with Licking County. We're right here. Let's just start. The other thing swirling out there are mortgage rates. I should talk about that real quick though. Let's talk about mortgage rates for a second, because this is game changing too. Maybe my title should have been about mortgage rates, but look at where mortgage rates are now. 30-year fixed, 6.63%, down 12 basis points on Friday. That's a big drop. Why did it drop? Well, it dropped because the 10-year dropped. Why did the 10-year drop? I'm not a complete financial expert, but I did stay at a Holiday Inn last night. And so, are there Holiday Inns in Ohio? I don't think there are. The 10-year drop because I think looks like the job number helped mortgage rates because the market's anticipating there's going to be a cut by the Fed. And so that short-term interest rate, overnight rate may drop soon from the Fed. And that's going to maybe create, some anticipation that the 10-year needs to come down. And so it did, I guess. And now we're at 6.63, but the jobs number, the low number helped mortgage rates. Didn't hurt it. It helped mortgage rates. So this was near 7% just a few weeks ago. Now 6.63. So will it fall more? I don't know. I mean, look at 30-year FHA, 6.22. I mean, here's an adjustable rate you can get at 6.12. I'm not a mortgage expert. I'm not a mortgage loan officer, but man, you probably don't want an arm. But if you did, 6.12%. So, all right, let's get over to this data. All right, so Licking County, home of the Intel project, maybe home to the canceled Intel project at some point soon, right? What'll happen there? Who knows? How will that affect the housing market? Hard to tell. Depends on what they do with it. But year-over-year shift in inventory from July of last year to just this month. Last month in July, down 0.5%. 0.5%. So we've lost inventory in Licking County. It's not even the winter yet. That's not good. That's not good. We were on a track. You can kind of see here. In July of 2023, we had 249 homes for sale. July of 2024, we had 421 homes for sale. July of 2025, just last month, 419 homes for sale. So we were gaining inventory. That was good. Still didn't change prices. Prices are still going up, but it's not good that we're now down year over year in inventory. Not good at all. Let's look at let's go ahead and do this and look at home prices in Licking County. So I'm going to use Resi Club Analytics, and they're using Realtor.com raw data behind the scenes for that map. I'm going to use them for the active listings, but they're not showing us the new listings. So I'm going to use Redfin for the new listings and for prices to show you that. So yeah, you can see here new listings in Licking County flat. You don't want to see that. You can see the trend where it was before. The trend was up. We were adding, we were adding more and more new listings to the market every week. That was helping us add inventory. We need that for lower prices, but now it's kind of stalling. Where are our prices now? Look at this. This is insane. More expensive than Houston, Texas. Licking County, Ohio. Little old Licking County. $356,000 in Licking County, Ohio. Up, look at that. Up 14% year over year. There was somebody making fun of me actually on another channel saying, well, you know, in Ohio, homes are like $130,000 and they happen to live in Texas. And they're like kind of saying, well, Ohio, you know, your home prices are so low. Of course, they're still going up. The unique thing is the home prices in this little hillbilly podunk county I live in are more expensive than Houston, Texas. Nuts. 356. So prices are not showing signs of slowing down in Licking County. And if we can't get more inventory, it's not going to get better. It's going to get worse. Nuts. Completely nuts. Okay, so that's Licking County. Now let me go back to the map here. All right, that's Licking County. Let me go ahead and I'll hit on some of the big counties, and then I'll get to your request. Put them in the comments. I will get to them. And then I've got Franklin County. Let's do this one next. Now, Franklin County, though, year over year, inventory's higher, 28% higher. So there's a lot more homes for sale in Franklin County than we're seeing last year. Definitely. I mean, if you look right here, it kind of gives you an outline over the past 9 years where inventory's traveled. Back in, so right now we've got 2,278 listings. Last year at this time, we had 1,769 listings. So you're adding about 500 listings on 2,200. That's a pretty good jump, right? We need that. We're actually nearly, what's that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're at an 8-year high of inventory for sale in Franklin County right now. So we've had more inventory of homes for sale than we've had in the last 8 years in Franklin County. That's nuts, right? That's crazy. But let's check prices and see how they're doing. And we're also going to check new listings. See how that's doing in Franklin County. Franklin County, Ohio. By the way, the weather's been amazing here, right? I mean, this is like perfect weather. Perfect weather. Let me do new listings first. Franklin County new listings. Look at this. This is not good. This is why I opened it up by saying I'm concerned. This is why the title of the live is is the Ohio housing market going to break or is it breaking? And that's why the thumbnail said crashing out, because crashing out can come in a variety of ways. It's not necessarily prices. We're looking at inventory falling. And this isn't necessarily unique to Ohio. I'm seeing this nationally too. A lot of areas are experiencing lower and fewer new listings than we saw last year. So you've got new listings down in Franklin County. Let's look at prices because we know we have more inventory. We do have more inventory, just not a lot being added as much as we did last year. Median sale price. Look at this. We peaked in Franklin County at $344,000, up 2.5%, call it 3% a few weeks ago. And we kind of went down a little bit, but we're still up 1%. $333,000 is the median sale price in Franklin County right now. So, Franklin County is going to include, all the cities inside the outer belt, obviously, and outside the outer belt, extending all the way into New Albany, parts of New Albany. So it's got expensive markets and more affordable markets. But yeah, it's just nuts that Franklin County is that expensive. And while it's come down a few percentage points, nothing like there's no crash in sight. Although I will say, if we can maintain some type of a continued growth of active listings in Franklin County, you could see prices in Franklin County fall more than an area like Licking County, or we'll get to the other big cities here in a minute. But Franklin County inventory is growing. At least it has until the last few weeks when new listings have dropped. But we're still up 28% year over year, which is good. You need more inventory in Franklin County. So more homes for sale, more selection for buyers, more competition for sellers. But that new listing data set really concerns me. Okay, now let's go to another county real quick. Let's do Hamilton real quick. So Hamilton County up 23% year over year in the number of homes for sale. That's good. We need that. 1,409 total homes for sale. That's up like 250? Right? About 250 homes year over year. So it's not like 1,000 homes. And then if you go all the way back to 2017, 2,362 homes for sale. So we're not even back. If you're in Hamilton County, Cincinnati area, you're not even back close to what you had pre-pandemic. I mean, pre-pandemic, you were at 2,200 listings. And the other thing is, you got to pay attention to this, very important. The trend for inventory in Ohio has been falling. And it's been doing this nationally too, by the way. It was falling before COVID hit. It was falling well before COVID. So the number of homes for sale was actually decreasing before we even started COVID. So COVID did not help. I mean, you could see the inventory, how it dropped basically through the basement down to 897 listings at one point in Hamilton County. And now it's threatening to climb out of the basement, but man, you need more new listings. So let's see what's going on there with new listings in Hamilton County and prices. We'll look at that too. Boy, that's not a good chart. Yeah, look, see, new listings down 2%. Again, there's supposed to be a lot of sellers in distress. There's supposed to be a lot of people having to sell their home, being forced to sell. You're going to hear that on YouTube constantly and in the media maybe. But nobody, hardly anybody I've heard is picking up on the fact that new listings are stalling, and that's affecting inventory. It's definitely affecting it nationally, and it's affecting it in Ohio. So let's look. Oops, sorry. I didn't show you this. Didn't click the button. Yeah, down 2% in new listings. Let's look at median sale price. Look at this. Oh my goodness. Hamilton County, that's an all-time high. $298,000, up 4% year over year. 4%. $298,000 in Hamilton County. And again, we're seeing listings start to fall. You don't want to see that. Got to have more new listings, more active homes. And obviously, mortgage rates coming down is not going to help the situation with inventory. It's going to make it worse. Buyers are going to get more active. Sellers will probably get more active too, which is good. Need more sellers to get active, but most sellers rebuy, right? They're rebuying homes. All right, that was Hamilton County. Let's do Let me do Cuyahoga County, then I'll jump into the comments. And ask questions too. If you have questions about the Ohio housing market or just the housing market in general, I'm happy to entertain those. If you have opinions about the housing market, that's fine too. I want to hear them. If you don't like what I'm saying, you don't believe what I'm saying, there are a lot of people that don't, which is completely cool. Okay, Cuyahoga County. Are you guys going to build that dome? Are we all paying for that dome in Ohio, or is it just Cuyahoga County? And why would they? That's happening, right? Like they approved that. Who on earth approved a dome for Ohio? Like that makes. I mean, I'm a Steelers fan. If full transparency. If they built a dome in Pittsburgh, I don't know if I could watch the team anymore. I don't want to see them playing a dome. It's Ohio football. Anyway, 28% increase in inventory with Cuyahoga County. Good. So right around where Franklin County is. That's a good thing. 2,260 homes for sale. But look at 2017, you had 4,000 homes for sale, then 3,600. Then it dropped down to 2,000 after COVID hit. That's not good, right? You went down to 2,000. Now you're climbing out of the basement. 2,200 homes for sale, approximately. Let's go to the chart from Redfin and see what we can find for prices and new listings. What do we got? Yeah, same story, right? New listings down 1.1% year over year. You're going to see seller distress in new listings first. If somebody has to sell their home, you're going to see it in new listings. So the idea that there's a lot of homeowners that can't afford their homes, a lot of investors that are fire selling their homes, a lot of net sellers with investors. You hear that narrative too. Oh, these investors are in trouble. They got to sell all their homes. Where are they? Tell me where they are. I want to go find them and buy them. I can't find them. I mean, the data is not telling me that there's a flood of people that have to sell their home, especially in Ohio. So, and it's not probably what you want to hear if you are hoping for a crash, but it's something you need to hear because I'm going to give it to you straight. Down 1.1% in new listings. Not great. Not great at all. What about prices? What are those doing in Cuyahoga County? Look at this. I mean, that's called unhinged, right? That's prices that are unhinged. Cuyahoga County, median sale price, $246, up 15% year over year. It's not the peak. It's close to it. Peak was 248. Now you're at 246, right? So you got a $2,000 drop. It's by far an all-time high. Like it's outside the stratosphere, right? We're not talking SpaceX type stratosphere. We're talking like Apollo 13 stratosphere. Nuts. So that's prices. Prices are still insane in Cuyahoga County. Inventory is better, but you also have to wonder what type of homes are for sale, right? Are they junk? Are they in areas people don't want to buy a home necessarily? Or are they next to like a train track? Which some people actually like living next to train tracks. Or are they just homes that are tore up, right? Like gutted. Maybe an investor has to sell it and they're gutted. Or they were never rehabbed to begin with and they're just have a ton of deferred maintenance. There's a lot of old inventory in Ohio, as you guys know. Not a lot of new construction. Not a lot. Only like 2%. Was it every 1,000 residents? I think it's like 2 out of every 1,000 residents in Columbus they're building homes for. Just 2. So there's hardly any new building in Columbus. I know it feels like there's a lot of new building if you live here, but there's not compared to the rest of the U.S. We're definitely hurting. All right, let me jump into the comments. We got 14 people on. Hit the thumbs up. Come on, there's got to be more people than that, right? Let me go down here. Let's get jiggy with it. I didn't leave that on. Athens County, please and thank you. Yes, definitely. RRRHHH. Triple R, Triple H. Yeah, I'll do that when I got you there. I'll save it. Charles, what's up? It's possible to get 5.5% in the lower income areas like East Cleveland, Canton, and parts of Mansfield. It's possible to get 5.5. Are you talking about like 5.5% growth or cap rate or ROI? I don't know, Charles. Let us know what you're thinking. Private equity offers are still strong and readily outbidding normal buyers with cash offers on cheaper homes. Yeah. So I'm glad you brought that up, Charles. I'll leave that comment up because check this out. And again, I'm not going to tell you what you want to hear. There are YouTubers that'll do that. They will tell you that everything's crashing, that prices are falling like a rock. If you just wait another month, you're going to get the deal of your dreams. Well, I'm not doing that. I'm not going to tell you that the market is going to fall next month and you're going to be able to buy for pennies on the dollar. I'm also not going to tell you that, prices are going to go up forever because I don't think they will. There's a cycle for everything. But I'm just giving you the information so you can make a decision. So if I go to, I was actually going to do a video about this. If I go to Columbus, well, you said Cleveland. Check this out. This is on Redfin too. This tells you the share of investors buying homes. Now they only have Columbus, Cincinnati, and Cleveland in their data. But look at this. I mean, Charles, you're right. I mean, it's clear as day. Investors are still buying properties in Ohio. 27% of all homes, of all residential properties in Cleveland are bought by an investor. 27%. Now, if I look at year-over-year growth, that changes the story. So, in other words, if I go back a few years, what's the change? Well, in Cleveland, it's up 1% year-over-year in investor purchases. So it's not like it's exploded in the last few years, although it was up a ton back in 2021. But to Charles's point, and you're absolutely correct, Charles, investors are still buying homes in Cleveland. Now, just for S&G, I'll get this. I'll look at Columbus. I'll show you that 17%. So not as big of a market share for investors in Columbus, but they are still buying. I mean, there's no doubt. And then let's look at Cincinnati. 18%. So investors are definitely still purchasing in Ohio. They are. So you're right, Charles. Absolutely correct. It's investors, they haven't stopped buying. Don't let people fool you and tell you that investors are selling all their properties. They're ruined. They're not. But thanks, Charles. Gone marbles. Athens is full of Democrats. Why would anybody want to go there? Oh, I don't know. Used to have a lot of fun there I didn't go to Athens, but I had a lot of buddies that went to OU, and Halloween down there is pretty fun. So maybe they go down there for Halloween. What do you want to look at? Medina County is surging. Okay, let's look. What else we got? Summit County. All right, we'll look at that one. Yeah, price surging, right? Yeah, I don't doubt it. We'll check it out. John Doe, you only missed 13 minutes. Shame on you. Thanks for joining us, though, man. Thank you. Sunday fun day. Yeah, I'm not working today and still not a heart surgeon. Oh, right. Medina County is still looking strong, which I wish it would drop so I could get a better price. Well, there are ways to get a better price. We talk about those all the time on the channel. You've got to go out and do things other people are unwilling to do. You've got to. You have to go out and find something off market if you really want a discount. You got to find some deal where people don't even know they want to sell, or look on market but find something that's really tore up. Make a disrespectful offer after it's been on the market a while or it's expired. Go revisit those. Make offers. Make an offer a week on a property. And make them low. Don't make stupid offers. Make them low for you, right? But don't make them stupid like don't pay retail. You got to make a lot of offers though. Yeah, let me look at Medina. I'll look at that one. Athens County. Yeah, I'm going to get to that one. Yep. What's up, Chip? 2 years ago, my son bought a home in Bell Fountain. Logan County, right. And I swore he overpaid. They waited 2 years, put it for sale, and sold in 1 day. And Greg and making. I don't know what that means. But sounds like they did well. Yeah, let's look at Logan County. Let's do that. It was good to talk to you today. Yeah, Mike. Hey, how you doing? Yeah, good to talk to you too, man. Thanks for joining. They'll start selling once they realize prices are dropping and their 401k start going down. Economy is clearly slowing and various bubbles are about to pop. Thomas, I understand why you think that. I completely get it. It's counterintuitive to think that it can keep going. But just because prices are high doesn't mean that's when they're going to reverse. But I understand what you're saying. There's a lot of things in the economy. Regardless of all the things that are going in the economy, the guide for us is the new listings. If new listings skyrocket, that shows you that sellers eventually are at the point where they have to sell. If you see the actual median sale price drop substantially, then you know that they've cut their price below last year's price. But if we don't see that yet, if you don't see a ton of new listings hitting the market, it just means that sellers don't need to sell yet. They may want to sell. But we all know that one of the things you're going to do if you're in serious financial problems, especially if you own a couple houses, you're going to sell one of them, right? If you're an investor in Ohio, you're going to sell the properties. You're not going to buy new ones, right? But we're still seeing 27% of all homes sold in Cleveland are going to an investor. That's crazy. But I understand what you're saying, Thomas. I'm not trying to rag on you. It's just that right now we don't see that in the data. And as a realtor, I don't want prices to go up forever. And I'm not telling you they will. But right now the pain's not here. Rush to the exits. Yeah, it'll happen if there's pain enough for people to sell. Right now is not. All right, let me keep going here. Let's see if there's anything else. All right. You guys may have some other requests. I'll get to them. Let me just jump into the ones I already have. Athens County, let's do it. Athens. It's down here, right? Come on, Jay. Right here. So look at this. Year-over-year shift in inventory up 30%. So you're seeing more homes, 30% more homes. Now, what's that number really look like? About 20 homes, right? Last year, you had 65 homes for sale. At this time of year, right now, you got 85. So it's not like there's, hundreds and thousands of homes in Athens County. But let's look at the new listings and prices and see what we see. And all this data, well, the Redfin data is free. You can go to it anytime. Resi Club is like, I think his price went up. It's still worth it, but I think it's $300 a year now. If you do annually, Resi Club is $300 a year to use that map I was using. Or you can just tune into my channel and I'll show them to you. He's cool with me sharing the data as long as I give him credit for it. Look at new listings here. You're not having a ton of them because it's a smaller market, but you had 9, down 12%. But again, like you peaked earlier in the year, you had some new listings and now not as many. So it's falling, but when you only have 9 new listings, it's hard to get any type of real trend that is meaningful. But median sale price, let's look at that. Yeah, this is all over the place because there's not a lot of transactions. $252,000 in Athens County. That's flat for the year. But it's not crashing. It's just kind of, again, it's up and down. Let me look at a 12-week trend. That may smooth it out a little bit. Yeah, that's smoothed it out. So on a 12-week trend, you can really see it. $245,000, nearly an all-time high. Right now, up 10% year over year for prices. And you can see they dipped earlier in the year, but then they've gone right back up. And let's look at new listings again on a 12-month basis. Or I'm sorry, 12-week basis, not 12-month basis. So that blue line is what we want to see. Yeah, like look at the new listings right here. Look at them just kind of falter. over the last few months, right? Like they were trending up through May, but then they just stopped. Look, I point this out all the time, but look back in 2022, what happened. Like in many markets, it's almost like we already had a housing market crash. Like people missed it because if you look at new listings, you could see in 2022, they spiked a lot, and they did in many other areas of the US. Let's look back at median sale price. Yeah, and look at median sale price in 2022. Look at that. You guys added a ton in Athens to the market, right? Because new listings were going up about this time. And then once those new listings all hit the market, prices went woo down because there was a bunch of competition on the market for a few months. Then all that changed and the listings dried up because buyers bought them. But yeah, it's you just got to have more new listings. You got to. And if you're in a market like this, like in Athens, where you added 10 new listings in the last 4 weeks, isn't a lot. You're just going to have to find something off market. Going to have to. And there are ways to do it. There are definitely ways to do it. Okay, so that's Athens County. What's my next one here? Medina County. Yep. Give me a thumbs up if you join. Helps the algorithm. Really appreciate it. If you're getting value out of the channel, subscribe. Maybe share it with somebody. Medina County. Let's do Medina County. Medina. Where's Medina County? I can never remember. Okay, it's west of Akron, huh? It's over here, right there it is. All right, Medina County, got it. So you're up 18% in inventory. You've got 240 homes for sale right now. Last year at this time, you had 203 homes. But look, in 2017, you had 577. So you're not even back to pre-pandemic levels yet. I mean, look at the drop there in inventory from 2019 to 2020. It was like 268 listings. Is that right? Yeah. 268 listings. You lost like over half of your inventory in 1 year. And a lot of places did in the US. Like if anything would tell you what happened during COVID, look at that number. And again, you're losing inventory before COVID, but COVID did not help the situation. And that was nearly a cycle low. You went down to 198. Oh, then you got down to 175. Now you're trying to climb out of the gutter, but man, just not a lot of inventory. And now let's do our exercise here for new listings and prices in Medina County. Oh, look, okay, good. So Medina County, you're up 14% in new listings. You got 55 that recently hit over the last 4 weeks approximately. I'm sorry, over the last week. If you take a 12-week average, weekly it's 55. That's how that works. So you are up in new listings. That's great. You need that. Let's look at price. Look at price. 343. Wow. Up 3.5%. I mean, Ohio's off the hook. It just does not care about what Florida's doing. Like prices in Florida, Texas, Louisiana, out west, Denver, some parts in California, San Francisco, Oakland, those are suffering, right? Prices are going down. Gulf, the Sun Belt. But man, Northeast and Midwest, it's like, no, we're going to keep going. So 343 in Medina County for the median sale price. Not good. It just keeps going, right? All right. Let's do new listings and then we'll come back. Medina County, that's it. Summit County. Let's do this one. Summit County. It's right around here, right? In the right area. Sometimes I blank out and can't remember where these counties are. Eventually I'll figure this. Oh, it's in Akron. My bad. Gotta be right around here. Oh, there it is. Summit County. Year-over-year shift, 31%. So got 31% more homes for sale. That's great. It definitely helps. 879, almost 200, over 200 more homes. And then if you go back again to 2017, you had 1,800 homes for sale, then 1,500, then 1,400. So you were dropping and dropping fast. And then look what happened. COVID happened. You lost like nearly half your homes. It got all the way down to 563 in 2023. Goodness gracious. That's like no inventory. Now 879. But you are up 31% year over year. And that's all you can really do, right? Like, it's not like you can control this or anything, but that's what you're hoping for, is that more active inventory hits the market. Gives you more choices as a buyer, more competition for sellers. But man, probably going to need a lot more than that. Not a lot more than 879 to cause some type of catastrophe. To give you context to this, if you, because some people are like, well, what does 879 really mean? What, do I need to get back to 1,800 listings to actually see some type of crash in the housing market? For central Ohio, like Franklin County, Licking County, the surrounding counties to Columbus, back during the GFC, I did this research. Back during the GFC, we saw 20,000 listings at its peak. In the worst years of the housing market, like 2000, and I think it peaked in like the inventory peaked like 2009. We had 20,000 active listings in central Ohio. Right now, like if you look at the MLS and look at central Ohio as a whole, it's like 4,500 listings. So the worst years were 20,000. Central Ohio, 4,500 now. So it's like we're not even close to that number of 20,000. Now, if you look nationally, we're at like 1.2 million listings. In the GFC, we had 4 million homes for sale in the nation. So it's like we're coming up. 31% is good for Summit County, but man, you need a lot more to see some price problems. A lot more sellers need to pull the fire alarm. And they did back during the GFC. All right, now let's look at Summit County prices. I hope that made sense. I hope that helped you understand maybe the degree of which listings need to increase. Now, I'm not saying they need to increase that much to actually see a price drop, but that caused massive price problems. That type of inventory, 20,000 Central Ohio, 4 million country, nationally. All right, new listings. Look at this, 6.1% in Summit County. Good, you're up 6.1%. You need that. You need that. That's great. Good to see. Let me look at it on a 4-week average. It's probably down. Nope, it's up still. Good. Up 9.7 if we look over just we look at a 4-week average. Good. All right, now let's do median sale price. Oh my. Look at median sale price, $250,000, up 8% year over year. Man. The only thing I can assume with some of these prices is that when a good house hits the market, people buy it, right? And they're willing to pay maybe sometimes over asking, or they're willing to pay what the seller's asking for the price or for the house. So maybe that's why we're seeing these continued record high prices of homes in our state. My goodness. 250. Who would ever think it? Right? I mean, look, not to rub salt in the wound, but like look back in 2022. You started let's look. Back in 2022 at this time was $199 for the median sale price. Now $250. Okay. That's Summit County. Let's do that. Got 39 people on. Hit the like button. Don't be a freeloader. What else we got? I did Medina County already. Logan County. Let's do that. Yeah. Let's do Logan County. Because you would think in Logan County, you've got some, Airbnb pain maybe, right? If you're going to see Airbnb pain in the housing market, I got to think Logan County, you may see it there because of, a lot of them are kind of fancy rentals. At least that's what I think. Maybe I'm wrong. Stayed down there a few times. It's not like an apartment in Mount Vernon or something. It's around here, isn't it? Where is it? That's not that high. Where is it? Pickaway, Hawking. Oh, I'm thinking of Hawking County, not Logan County, huh? Wrong county. I'm thinking of Hawking County. We should look at that too. Oh, okay. Yeah, because Logan County is up in Bell Fountain. My bad. Sorry, guys. It's like right here. It is. Okay, got it. People are like, "Are you sure you're from Ohio? You don't know your geography." My 8th grade teacher would be upset. Year-over-year shift, 31% increase. Not bad. That's good. More homes for sale. 133 homes versus 101 last year. 2017, you had 273 homes for sale. Like at one point, you got down to 56. So you are improving. There's no doubt. I mean, some of these markets are improving, and that's what we want to see. Logan County. New listings in Logan County. Basically flat, up 1.6% year over year for the number of homes hitting the market. Now let's look at median sale price. What do we got? 252, up 7% year over year. It's not an all-time high, though. You had that back in July of 2023, 310 grand. Let me look at it on a 12-week rolling average. Yeah, this kind of gives us a better idea. So on a 12-week rolling average, 261, up 15% year over year, but you don't have a ton of transactions. So I wouldn't get, I wouldn't get all bent out of shape about a 15% increase. It's going to go up and down, but the trend is definitely up. Like there's no doubt that the trend is up this year. You started at 231, now 261 for the median home price. So prices still going up, not an all-time high, quite an all-time high, but they don't show like they're crashing at all or coming down. Okay, that was Logan County. Thanks for suggesting that. In Bell Fountain. All right, let me go back to the comments. Who else has a county they want to look at? Who else has a county they want to look at? Anything? Portage County. What's up, evil overlords? Okay, cool name. All right. Evil overlords. Let's look at Portage County. I don't think I've ever looked at this on a live. Portage County, Ohio. There's all these counties that you just don't know even exist, or you're not really sure where they are. You've heard of them maybe, but that's about it. So it's kind of neat to look at all this. Akron. You guys got me in the Akron area a lot today, which is cool. There's Portage County right there. 208 active units, 34% increase year over year in homes for sale. That's great. Still not to pre-pandemic levels yet. You had 219 in June of 2020. You had 374 in June of 2019, 446 in 2017. I mean, again, that's this trend. So people blame COVID for it, right? They're like, oh, COVID screwed the housing market. Well, maybe it didn't help, but you were losing inventory before that. Like Ohio was popular for home buyers before COVID. And again, they're not building a lot of new homes in our area. They're just not. And now that home builders are throttling back their their production. Lumber yards, lumber mills out west, out in the Northwest, for stick-built homes, they're not producing lumber. They're, shuttered, doing turnarounds and whatnot because there's no demand for lumber because builders overall in the U.S. aren't seeing a lot of demand. So it's not going to help supply in the future. That's Portage County. All right, let's look at prices and new listings and see what we're doing. Portage County. Portage County, Ohio. New listings. 40 units, 6.2% up year over year. Look at it on a 4-week and see what it says. Yeah, 6% up year over year in new listings. Okay, it's not amazing. At least it's not down. Oh, shoot. Forgot to share this. My bad, guys. Yeah, at least it's not down. 6%. At least you're not down in new listings. Median sale price, where's that? $275, up 1% year over year. Right? It's kind of been up and down all year. You started at 255. Now you're 275. You peaked at 305 earlier. But I wouldn't say it's a crash. Prices are still going up there overall on a trend, but because there's not that many sales, just like, how many homes sold in the area there. Yeah, look, 28 homes sold. So it's not going to, that price line is going to be woo up and down a lot because there's not that many homes sold. All right, but it does look like you're just hurting for inventory like most other spots in Ohio, and prices are still ridiculously high for the area, right? 275. And by the way, when you ask about a county, if you can, give me some color as to what's going on. Like, hey, I'm seeing this, or we're seeing this. I'm seeing more homes on the market. I'm seeing, I tried to buy a home last month and there's still multiple offers. Or you just got a great deal. I'd love to hear about that. Love to hear about if you got a great deal or not. Okay, that's Portage County. Let's do the next county. What do we got? All right, we looked at Logan County. We talked about that. The Columbus area. Yeah, I can do Columbus just as a city. No problem. Actually, let's do this. So we're going to go to the MLS and look. Now, their data is only going to be for July. So let me go ahead and just look at Columbus, the city of Columbus. So this is just July. I'm sorry. It should be July. Let me change the date. Yeah, July. Here we go. But the reason why we're going to look at the MLS is really for one reason and one reason only. The breakdown of prices, because the Redfin doesn't give us this data. But now we can look at the price brackets of what has sold or what has been listed. And that kind of helps us understand what the product mix is out there. What types of homes are on the market? What types of homes are selling? Expensive, cheap, what's happening? So in the city of Columbus anyway, sold listings, how many homes sold? Down 8% year over year. So there were 8% fewer homes sold in the city of Columbus, July 2025 versus July 2024. Now let's look at active inventory. How much active inventory do we have? Look at that, up 23%. Hopefully you can see this. Up 23%. And let's look at the distribution of where the inventory is really stacked, right? In active inventory. This is really important. And you want to do this in your subdivision, by the way, or your neighborhood that you want to buy in, or the city, or the zip code, or the school district. You don't want to just look at all inventory. Once you understand where you want to buy, get with a realtor. And if it's in Central Ohio, you can call me or text me or email me, whatever, and I will provide this data to you. But Once you understand exactly where you want to live or buy a home, or even where you want to sell your home, then you want to break it down by price point. So like right now, there are $500,000 plus homes in the city of Columbus. That inventory is up 6%. But look at the 400 to 499 bracket, up 64%. This year, right now, we've got 161 homes between 400 and 499 grand. Last year, 98 homes. That's up quite a bit, right? Look at 300 to 399, up 24%. 250 to 299, up 25%. 200 to 250, up 41%. Even the 180 to 199, up 30%. 160 to 179, up 18%. But then you can see it kind of falls, right? 140 to 159, active inventory is actually down 5%. So, and then 90 to 99 grand, very small bracket, down 64%. But the point is, if you're looking for a home in the city of Columbus, and let's pretend your price point that you want to spend is like, I'm just going to make this up, 375, 350, let's say. Well, even 300. If you look at the 300 to 399 and the 400 to 499, that inventory is up a lot. So if it's me, I may go into some of those listings and make them low offers into my price point. Meaning if a home is priced between, let's say it's priced at $350,000 and your price point is 300. Well, don't put your search at 300. Don't tell your realtor to put your search at 300. Tell them to put it at 350. Then when you see a home that's been on the market for 30, 45 days, 60 days, and you see multiple price cuts, and maybe it's priced at 350, go in and make them an offer at 290. You never know, right? That's maybe how to pick off something versus play the retail game. But that's why, that's a long way to tell you, that's why the MLS is so great, because it breaks it down by price category. Redfin doesn't do that. So those are active listings. So we know that active inventory is up. Expensive homes are up in Columbus. Less, the cheaper the homes, the less inventory you have. Obviously, you got 3 homes here, 4 in that category, 1 in that category, 3 from 70 to 79 grand. So the cheaper homes, not a ton of them, and that's obvious. That's kind of normal. And then look at new listings. New listings are down. How many homes hitting the market in the city of Columbus? Down 4% year over year. Look at the $500,000 plus category, up 31%. So that category right there, not to say you want to spend $500,000 in the city of Columbus, but if you are shopping for a home and it's in the 400s, you may be able to find somebody who really needs to sell, because there's a lot of these homes on the market over 500 grand. There just are. Okay. One more thing on this. Let's look at the price. Median sale price in the city of Columbus, $275. Last year, $282, down 2.48%. So Franklin County is up year over year in median sale price, but the city of Columbus is down 2.48%. Here is the other factor to look at. Redfin doesn't really give us this either, is the absorption rate. This means we have 2.3 months of supply. Last year at this time, we had 1.8 months of supply. So you're still in a seller's market technically in Columbus, but it's loosening up slightly, but not a ton yet. So sellers look like they're still in control in Columbus overall, but there are some pockets of opportunity like I just showed you. Anyway, hopefully that helped. That's looking at the MLS though. All right. And maybe that's too much info for you. Tell me if it is. If you're like, man, that's way too much for me. Maybe, give me some feedback. And if you want this detailed information outside of our live, just shoot me an email. I'll add my email address to the description after the live's done. But shoot me an email and tell me what you're looking for, and I can help you. And if I can't help you, if I'm not familiar with the area, I'll get somebody who is familiar. All right, let's go back to our normal scheduled programming. That's Columbus area. Hopefully that helped. Charles, what's up? Population's growing in Columbus metropolitan. Yeah, I think the population's like, yeah, it's definitely growing, right, in Columbus. And the rural areas of Ohio are kind of dying, though, a lot of them. But prices are still unhinged. Older people are getting more interested in subject to or creative financing. You sound like an investor. They see the stock bond market volatility and go back to own real things. Creative finance, good for off-market deals. Love it, Charles. Like, I've got a lot of seller finance deals I've done with sellers, and that's a great way to get into real estate. I agree 100%. And there's a lot of sellers I deal with that are like, I can get like 5% from a CD locked in for 5 years. And I'm like, okay, well, I'll give you 5.5% on your money through seller financing. And I'm not a financial expert. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just a realtor and investor. But that's a good way to do it. I like it. I haven't done any subject to yet. I've not done that yet, but I've definitely done creative financing. No worries. Oh, no. Thomas, I completely get it. Like, he made a comment up here. Thomas it's understandable. I'm not trying to rag on him. I'm just trying to give him some other things to think about. Fan Freddie will get bailed out again with their toxic assets when, hits the fan. They'll just add it to the 37 trillion and let the CEO management off the hook with their golden tickets. I mean, I can't argue with this statement. There'll definitely be bailouts. There will be. Anything gets into trouble, there's going to be money printing. It's just going to happen. The next president will have to deal with it. And but they'll probably bail stuff out too. Like, no, I can't imagine a president of the United States coming in and saying, hey, folks, prepare for the next 4 years. I'm not bailing anybody out. I'm not going to artificially inflate the economy at all. And the economy is going to be awful for the next 4 years. Please vote for me. That's not going to happen. So I don't think they're going to let pain hit the asset holders if they can help it. But they'll let the pain hit the bottom rung, but not the asset holders, which is not good. Not good. But I understand why what you're thinking there, Thomas. Let me see. Fairfield County, Mindy's got a story here. What's up, Mindy? I barely got my offer accepted. An investor gave a full price offer on my house. Props to the sellers for choosing the person who wants to live in the home. I love the fact you brought this up, Mindy. This is what I try to tell clients, and I tell folks on this channel all the time. Like, if you're not an investor and you want to find an off-market deal, a lot of sellers like Mindy, what she's saying is, hey, sellers will probably, tell me if I'm wrong, Mindy, but a lot of sellers would rather sell to a owner-occupant than an investor. So my point is, if you want to find an off-market deal, drive around the area you want to buy in, look for homes that maybe for some reason, I'm not saying your house is like this, Mindy, but oftentimes you can look for the house with a tarp on the roof, weeds in the yard. Like in Ohio now, you got the cars in the yard that are unused and the weeds growing up around them because they mow and they can't get close to them. And so you can kind of tell, hey, maybe that house needs some help. Maybe old windows, old siding. The house just looks like it's maybe needs some love. Write the homeowner a letter and tell them, hey, I'd like to buy your house. I'd like to talk to you about buying it. Give me a call. Shoot me a text. I live in the area and I'm not an investor. You'd be shocked how many people call you back. A lot of people that don't like investors are like, hey, I'll sell to you rather than an investor. And that's where you can win. So great point, Mindy. Even though I am an investor and I send out those same letters, I don't send a ton of them, but I do it. Fairfield County, let's do it. I love it. Love Fairfield County. It's a big county. 3.2% down in active listings. And you said wait a minute. Let me go back here. You said Pickerington. Well, let me do Fairfield County first. I'll just give it an overview. Then I'll dive into Pickerington. So 3.2% down in active inventory. Not good. 301 homes for sale. Last year at this time, you had 311. Now, let's go to, let me just do this. Let me just go to the MLS. Because I can, since it's Pickerington. Let me do Pickerington schools. How about that? That may work, right? What do we got? So let's just start at the top. Last time I started at the bottom, let's start at the top. Absorption rate. So you've got 1.96 months of supply. In Pickerington, Ohio. Last year, you had 1.48. So you got a little bit more supply, a little bit less demand. That's what that means. But this number here was like in the teens during the GFCs, during the Great Financial Crisis, like 2008 or so when the last bubble popped. So like when you think about this, it's just, it means sellers are still in control. It's really a strong seller's market. Anything under 2 is really, I classify it as a strong seller's market. Median sale price. What in the world? Can that be right? I guess it is. Pickerington, Ohio, 465. Up 10% year over year in June. It's 430 year to date, the median sale price. But however you slice it, it's not falling. That's for sure. Average days on market, 28 days. Last year, 13 days. So homes are sitting longer. But your median sale price is through the roof last month. I guess that would be, July. All right, now let's look at active inventory. Let me look at solds first. So sold listings in Pickerington up 7%. You had a few more sales than you did last year in July. And now if we look at inventory, you're up 22% in the amount of homes for sale in Pickerington. Pickerington City Schools. And again, look at this. Look at the distribution of pricing. Hey, and I don't know if there are any realtors on here or not. If you're a realtor, this data is like what you need to talk to your clients about, because it'll tell you this where the opportunities are and set the expectations correctly. Because if I'm shopping for a home in Pickerington and I'm looking for a home under 300 grand, look how many listings are under 300 grand right now. 2, 4. That's it. That's it. Under 300 grand. I had 4 listings total in the whole month. 300 to 399, there are 25 listings. Last year, there were 19. There's a little growth there. 400 to 499, a little growth there. More listings than last year in those categories. And 500,000 plus, there's about almost 10, I guess 9 new listings. I'm sorry, 9 active listings compared to last year at the $500,000 plus category. So because you're up 22% in the number of homes for sale, you got to look at where that distribution is. Where does that lie? What's the product mix, as you would call it in like retail or something? Because that matters. So if you're looking for a home in Pickerington and you're like, hey, or if you're going to sell, what category are you in? What does that inventory look like? They're going to have to change these categories. Like, I've emailed the board, the Columbus Board of Realtors, and told them, hey, you got to change these categories because 500,000, there's too many homes in that category now. We need like a 500, a 750, and a million, I think, and get rid of some of these smaller categories. There's nothing listed, right, in these smaller categories. It's like a pointless data to look at. So not a lot of cheap homes, a lot of expensive homes there. 465 median sale price. That's crazy. I will say, I mean, something that does stand out to me though, look at the average days on market, up 115%. 28 days. Is that long? No, but it's better than 13. So this year, homes are sitting on the market 28 days. That's what that means. And these graphs up here, I don't bother you with these when I show the MLS because they're useless because they don't go year over year. Like, yeah, they don't. They need to go year over year, and they don't. They kind of take you back the last. Yeah, they take you back to August of last year. That doesn't help me. I'd like to see 2 years of data up here, maybe, but I'm not in charge. All right, that's hopefully that helped for Pickerington. Billy the Kid. What's up, Billy? How can prices continue to increase if inventory is rising? Great question. Yeah, so like, let's just use Pickerington as an example, Billy. And this is a great question. It's something I probably take for granted that people understand, but again, it all comes down to product mix, right? So like, we know that home prices have gone up, let's just call it 50% in the last 5 to 6 years in Ohio, about 50%. Well, at one point in the last 5 years or so, there were homes for sale, more homes for sale in these smaller categories, right? In these lower price tiers. You had some homes probably mixed in at 200. You had homes mixed in at 180 grand, right? Before COVID, I was helping people buy homes in Licking County and even in Pickerington. And you could find a home for 150,000. You could find a home for 200 grand move-in ready. It was possible. But now you can't. So what happens? People, the median, remember, is the house in the middle that sells. If you have 10 houses, it's house number 5. That's the home that sells. And that's how they gauge the median sale price. It's the middle, not the extremes. The reason why prices keep going up is simply because homes are more expensive now. And the homes that do sell, like in Pickerington, the median is 465 last month. So maybe 5 years ago, the median home price was 350, 375 or something, or 300 because there were more homes available on the market for those lower prices. But now that those homes aren't available anymore because prices have gone up, that median price continues to rise. That's one reason. The other reason is because the people that own these homes who, maybe they own a home that's, let's say, $200,000, like a little 2-bedroom, 1-bath home in Pickerington, maybe even 250. And they're like, they probably have an interest rate of 3%, 4%. They probably paid a lot lower of a price for their home. So they refuse to put the home on the market and they don't need to sell it. So they just stay put. That's called the lock-in effect, Billy. So that's the second reason. The lock-in effect is the person now who is in their home. They have a low interest rate. There's no motivation for them to sell that home and buy a $500,000 home. That motivation's gone because they don't need to move and they don't want to pay a lot more for a home and they don't want to pay a higher interest rate. So when the Fed raised interest rates in 2022, at the beginning of 2022, and mortgage rates shot through the roof from, like in the 3s to then close to 7 at one point, even over 7, a lot of people that owned less expensive homes, affordable homes, we'll call it, were like, I'm out. I'm not going to sell now because I don't want to buy a more expensive home. So that lock-in effect is the second reason why we're not seeing the homes on the market, and therefore the ones that are purchased are higher priced. That's those are the two reasons. So lack of affordable inventory is one, and that's the lock-in effect stuff, and combined with the fact that homes are just more expensive now. So that median price keeps going up. I don't know if that makes sense or not. But that's how I look at it. Hopefully that helped. That's a great question, though, Billy. If I could do like a reverse super chat, I would. Hello from Galion, Orville Hall. How you doing, Orville? Thanks for joining us. Galion, huh? Let's look at Galion. Why not? Why not? I don't know how much data we're going to have here. We're going to try. Galion City Schools. Is that where we should look? I don't know. Let me look at Galion, though. Let me just look at the city. What are we seeing for Galion? Where I want to make sure I have the right area. Oh, wow. That's up. I think I have that data. That's in Richland County, right? Let me look and see. See how much data. I don't have any data there. I'm gonna have to go to Redfin. Let me go to Redfin and see what they have. Is it in? Wow, it's in 3 different counties: Crawford, Morrow, and Richland. Okay. Let me see if I can. I'm trying to think on where to get this data. Let me try this. Let's do. Here. This will give us some help. I'm using Redfin data now on a monthly basis, not a rolling weekly basis. So I'm going to look at Galion because they'll give me some data here. Let's look at new listings in Galion. What do we got? 13 in the city of Galion. Yeah, 13. Now this is for July of. No, I'm sorry. They're just giving me June. They don't have the July info out yet on the monthly data. So June. So in Galion, you got June data, 13 new listings. Let's just look at a year-over-year basis and see what we see. It's flat, it looks like, as far as new listings go. Let me look at active listings. Active listings are down a lot. Active listings down 18% in Galion. Right? I'm in the right area, right? You said Galion. Yeah, I just want to make sure. Okay. And let me do value of active listings. So how many homes you have for sale there in Galion? 27 homes for sale, it says, in the city of Galion. But like, look, this chart's kind of cool because look back here in 2013, you had 70. And then it kind of just kept falling, right? I mean, it went up and down seasonality, but now down to 27 in June. So not that many listings. Let me just look at median sale price. And look at median sale price, 168, they're saying, for the city of Galion. Way back when, 2012, median sale price, $63,000. What? Now 168. Let's look at the year-over-year change. Up 55%. There's just not that many transactions, so it's going to the year-over-year change is going to be a lot. But what I would do is I would get, if you really want some great info, Orville, not that you're asking for, but if you do want some like detailed info, get with a realtor in that area in Galion, and they can give you that breakdown on pricing that I did earlier for the folks off the MLS. That's going to give you a lot more detailed info and help you than, you know, this Redfin data, because your market's so small. Anyway, but thanks for checking in from Galion. And I always like to look at these different markets. We need everyone to sell to people who want to live there instead of easy cash offers. Right. I agree. I'd be the first one to agree with you, Mindy. Like, I would like to see, I don't want any bans or anything. I don't want us to tell people they can't buy more than one property. You can't invest in real estate. I don't want that to happen. I don't think that's right. But overall, yeah, it'd be nice if, folks sold to people who are going to live in the houses, right? There's always going to be situations where people need to sell a home, or it works for an investor and it works for the seller. And so those transactions, okay. But yeah, those cash offer things you get, like, hey, I'm going to pay cash. That just means a lower price for you as a seller. That's all that means. Really. Wooded acreage around Delaware. That I would have to help you offline. Suntory time. So if you want to email me, it'll be in the description below, or you can look one of my past videos and it's definitely in there already. You can email me. It's my first and last name at gmail.com. 2 S's. So you could do that, and I can give you some info on wooded acreage in Delaware. But I don't have that at my fingertips. Charles, what's up? Union County and Madison County. Yes, let's do it. Union County and Madison County. All right. Union County, year-over-year shift in homes for sale, up 8.3%. Good. You had 143. Last year, you had 132. Not a ton. Still not back to pre-pandemic levels. Huh. Okay. Let's look at, I'm going to go back up here and look at Union County. Union County, Ohio. New listings. Okay, those are up 9.7% in Union County. So a few more new listings, although just 25. But again, it was going up, like you can see, most of the country, Ohio included, a lot of areas continued to go up earlier in the year, which is normal for seasonality. That is seasonality. And so for it to go down now, is it outside of seasonality? No, probably not, because we're getting into the time when school's starting, people don't want to move, right? But the problem is that, or I guess the argument that the housing market's going to crash is that you have to have a lot of distressed selling. Well, that's not going to happen if new listings are down or not impressive, like not skyrocketing, not up here somewhere is the point. Median sale price, what's that doing? Down 2%. Down 2%. $480,000 is the median sale price in Union County. Wow, it's expensive. You peaked. All-time high was a few weeks ago at $515,000 for Union County. All right, since we're here, let me go back to this. Due to Madison County, right? Madison County's right underneath it. Up 7.1% in inventory year over year. That's it. 7.1%. Not great. Only 75 homes for sale. Of course, in 2017, you only had 98 homes for sale. That's it. Wow. There's just not a lot of homes there for sale. Okay. Now let's do Madison. New listings in Madison County down a lot. 19%, only had 11, but we only have 98 homes at its peak on the market. You're not going to see a ton of new listings. So, man, it's not a lot at all. 11 homes came to market. What about the median sale price? What's that doing? It's all over the place. Down a lot year over year. $296,000, down 7%. But again, not a lot of transactions, so it's going to be up and down all over. You started at 265 this year. Now 296. So it is up since the beginning of the year overall. But it's, there's a lot of, it's like a roller coaster. Back in, it looks like 2024 was $391,000 at one point. But because there's just not a lot of transactions, that year over year is going to fluctuate. Let me see if I can, this will help me if I do 12 weeks. Okay, this makes it a little clearer. 309,000 if you look at a 12-week rolling average. Down, what's that, down 1%. But, this is kind of interesting. Like, look at how it started at 307, now at 309. And look at last year, though. Last year, you kept going up till the end of the year. It'll be interesting to see if Madison County does that this year, And maybe I should have done this. Let's go and just look at the inventory mix and what's available. I assume there's a lot of data in here. Yeah, we got some good data to look at. So if I look at active listings like we did in these other markets, you're down 4.7%, the MLS is saying, in active inventory. Right? That's actives, yeah. So you have fewer homes for sale according to the MLS in Madison County. Let's look at what's available. $500,000 homes. There were 22 last month listed and available. You were down a lot last month in 400 to 499, 300 to 399. You had 29 homes. Last year you had 20. So there's a little, I mean, your inventory's down overall, but it looks like there are more listings of in the 200 to 250, in the 250 to 299. There's one more. I mean, it's not very good. Not a whole lot of selection. Let's look at the solds. How many have sold? Wow, look at that. Homes sold in Madison County up 40%. And a lot of them were in that 250 to 299 range. Like there were 17 homes sold last month in that price range. That seems to be like the sweet spot. What's the median price there again? 309. Okay. Let's look back up to, those are sold. Let me look back up to the median prices from the MLS. 298, yeah, right around where Redfin is. They say that's down 8%. That makes sense. It is down. Absorption rate 2.3. That's not good. That means homes are moving faster. Like the supply demand equilibrium's out of balance, and you've got more buyers than sellers than you did last year. You have more buyers on the market than you do sellers. That's what that means. It's basically a seller's market. I mean, the average days on market, look at this, went down 20%. So homes are selling 19 days now. Last year it was 24 days. And I'm really curious what happens with the market now that interest rates, I mean, they dropped a quarter of a point in one day. Nearly a quarter of a point. Depends on what type of loan you're looking for. So that's it'll be interesting to see what happens with the housing market now that rates are a little lower. Will buyers coming back in? We won't really know for a couple of weeks, but they could. Just need more homes for sale. Need them. All right. Let's see. What time is it? I got a couple more in me. Uh-oh. Hang on, before I do this one, look at this one. This is I understand this. Falter and flat are the words I thought I'd hear. Thanks. You're talking about listings or prices? That's not really happening overall, unfortunately, prices, but listings are. This is from 5 days ago. Intel announced it will need to get external customers, for its manufacturing division, or it may need to stop all work in Ohio. Yeah, imagine being the VP of sales for that division. It's like, hey, if you don't sell enough of these chips or get enough pre-orders for them, we got to terminate this this factory in Ohio. I think this has been brewing for a really long time. I think the way these corporations get out their messaging, I think the plant's been in trouble for a long time. Maybe even when they first started building the thing, like they looked ahead and were like, hey, we got all these great incentives, but we don't have any customers. Intel's not doing well. They're not doing well at all. And who knows what's going to happen, right? I mean, let's be honest. The housing market prices were already going up in Ohio before COVID. COVID didn't help. What helped the home prices? Those went up even more with COVID. Then Intel was announced, and it was like, hey, gasoline on the fire, at least locally in Central Ohio. So, and I'm only like 15 minutes from it. It's gonna be interesting to see. Now, the other thing about Intel is, will somebody buy the plant like Taiwan Semiconductor? Imagine if they bought the plant. Then you have a Taiwanese company buying a plant created from American tax dollars, right? In Licking County, Ohio. We're going to remove this cornfield and we're going to build Taiwan Semiconductor. Ironic? Paradoxical? I don't know. But yeah, Thomas, you're absolutely right. Who knows what's going to happen? Funky Cold Medina. Hey, there's some Gen X stuff. I like it. Do Portage, which is east of Akron. I did Portage County. I did that, Evil Overlord. Maybe I'm way behind. Oh, going back to no one wants to live in Florida or Texas. I don't know. A lot of people in Ohio love Florida. They got like second homes and stuff down there, but that's hurting. We did that. We did Fairfield. We did Fairfield County. We did Pickerington. Ohio has been a hidden gem for a long time. It's boring, but a good value. Manufacturing is starting to rise, save for the Intel project being on life support. Yeah. What's that? What's the big defense contractor? They make like weapons. Just read about them. Ansel, something like that. I think they're in Pickaway County, right? Wayne County. Okay, let's do Wayne County. Now I'm going to have to use Redfin for that and Resi Club. Sorry. Got it. Just west of Akron. Right? There you go. Wayne County. Got it. Up 41% in inventory. Wow. That's a good jump, right? 105 houses last year, this year 149. And you're still not above pre-pandemic, but getting closer, which is a good thing. At least you have more homes for sale. At least you're not dropping like in Licking County or in Franklin County. As far as new listings go, we'll have to look at that. Let's do that right now. New listings. Let's do Wayne County, Ohio. New listings. Look at this. Up 20. Oh, you have 25 new listings, up 8%. All right, good. So more new listings. That's great. At least you're not down. Let's do median sale price. Oh man. Is that an all-time high? Close to it. $248,000 for the median price in Wayne County. 250 was you're tied for the all-time high, right? Yeah, tied for the all-time high. Harry, thanks for suggesting it. Yeah, that's not great. Prices continue to go up there just like everywhere else in Ohio. At least you have more new listings. You need more, you got to have probably 10x that to cause some type of price crash, but at least it's not trending the opposite way. Lower mortgage rates actually may help inventory. Who knows? It'll be interesting to see what happens. They may add a bunch of inventory because sellers are like, hey, now it's time to sell because buyers are more active because rates are lower. But that seller has to find somewhere to live. And usually that's buying a new house or another house. All right. Thanks, Harry. Thanks for joining us. Really appreciate it. You taking the time. Oh, you know of at least 10 new housing developments taking over farmland? Yeah, it's happening. It's happening. No doubt. It is. Here in Licking County, I'm seeing more new homes, more apartment buildings. You don't see any apartment buildings being built in Licking County until recently. But when you look at the overall need, especially Ohio has a lot of old inventory. I mean, the average home in Ohio has to be 1950 or something. You need a lot more new homes. Smaller would be nice, like 1,000 square foot, 3-bed, 1-bath ranch home. That'd be great. But builders, I guess, can't make any money on them because they're not building those. All of these damn baby boomer retirements. I understand your plight there. I get it. I understand, David. A lot of people are upset that the boomers are who they are, I guess. But everybody's going to get older. And one day, millennials will be complaining about Gen X. And then one day, Gen Z or Gen Alpha will be complaining about millennials. Who knows? Millennials may own all the Bitcoin. That's a finite thing, right? Or so is gold. Maybe, down the road, Gen Alpha will be like, you know what? All these dang millennials own all the Bitcoin and gold. And now Bitcoin is $1 million a coin. You never know. I did Fairfield County. I got that one. Fairfield County prices seem to be dropping. Did we look at Fairfield County? I thought we did. Maybe we didn't look at it on a price basis. Let's look for the county. I looked at Pickerington. That's up. Didn't look at Fairfield County as a whole. Let's look. How's median sale price? Well, look at new listings in Fairfield. I forgot to do this. Look at that. 63 up 13%. Let's see if they're right. Uh-oh. Median sale price. 353 up 6% in Fairfield County. It's an all-time high for prices. 353. The previous high was 351. So you probably are seeing some price discounts, Monique. You're probably seeing people cut their prices. They probably listed them too high. And in a normal market, you're going to have to cut the price to sell a home if it's listed too high. 2021, 22, 23, somewhat even 24, you could list it for whatever you wanted. But now it's reality. Buyers are like, no. You have to list it for a price that makes sense. Thomas is saying it's a buyer's market in Columbus and elsewhere. Lowball them. I agree. You should make disrespectful offers on homes that have been listed a long time. If a home's only been listed a few days, you can do whatever you want. There's no law against throwing in a low offer, but the chances of getting accepted are very low. But on a house that's been listed a while, take shots. Yeah, you got to. Oh, here's some question. My wife and I are trying to decide if we should build an addition to our house with home equity loan or try to find something new. Any advice on this one? Wow, I bet a lot of people struggle with this. I even struggle with it myself. With different properties. Yeah, so I guess it really depends on what your future plans are. Really, it comes down to that, right? And it depends on what your goals are with the properties. So like if you're going to, I always encourage people to keep their real estate and not sell it. I probably talk more people out of not selling than actually selling a home. I always try to talk people into keeping their home. But if you need, what is there a reason why you're building a new house? Is it just to have a new house, more space, different area of town? What's that driving force? I don't know you at all, LJT, and thanks for asking this question. But if it's just because you want a new house, you got to have to make the decision if it makes sense to. I got to think it's more money than the addition would be. And I guess it also depends, also depends on what your current interest rate is on your house. If you owe anything and what the interest rate is on the home equity, it's probably 9%, 8%, I'm guessing. So you just have to weigh if building a new house, what's the reasoning behind it? Is it a need or a want? If it's just a want, then the financial aspect maybe is more important. Like, well, if I have a 3% mortgage on the current house and I do a combined combined interest rate with the equity loan and my current home interest rate and payment, if I do a combined interest rate and a combined payment and look at that and go, okay, this addition is going to cost me X more dollars a month, and I'm getting the new addition for my house. Maybe that'll satisfy your wants. But if you're like, you know what, interest rate wise, payment wise, it makes more sense to buy the new home. Well, maybe then you buy the new home. But I would encourage you, depending on your financial situation, keep your existing home and rent it out if you can. If you can't, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. But hopefully that helped. It really comes down to a want versus a need, in my opinion, and then analyze the financials. But you could even do it if you just want to do it. You're like, you know what? I want a nicer home. I want a bigger home. I want a new home. I want to live over there. Well, then you do, and there's a price for that. But a lot of it really depends on what your current loan is, right? Like if you just bought in the last few years and your rate's like 5, 6, maybe it's not that big of a deal. The other thing to think about is new home builders right now are giving away some pretty good interest rates. Like I just did a video yesterday here in Newark about new homes. They were doing like a 4.25, which is pretty good. So maybe you can get a deal there. Hopefully that helped. And then I would say also realize whatever you do, you may be into that for years to come. Like if the housing market prices stagnate, because they're not always going to go up, they're not always going to be amazing. So if they stagnate or go down, you just got to be prepared to keep whatever decision you have for a while, right? Great question. Hey there. I'll call you the tree person. I'm considering extending my garage and build 3 more rooms on top. That'd be cool. Yeah. You gonna rent one out? Maybe not. That's okay. I think improving your current house, if you're okay with where you live, if you like the neighborhood you live in, if you like the location, improving your current house a lot of times makes sense. Yes, that helped a lot. Oh, good. I'm glad I helped you, Monique. All these statistics. Inventory is doubled and days on market are double from last year in Fairfield and Franklin County. 13 to 18 days on market is significant in Fairfield. Something's up. Let's go back and look at that. Yeah, none of this data is hidden. You guys can look at this anytime you want. Let me look at days on market. Thomas has me curious. Median days on market. Well, Redfin's got median days on market down 0.67%. So that's in Fairfield County. Redfin's saying median. Now that's not average days on market. That's median days on market. There is a difference. Let's go back to, let's look at weeks of supply. Yeah, I mean, look at weeks of supply. 11 weeks, almost 12. So that's 3 months of supply approximately. So, I mean, year over year, it is taking longer to sell a home when you look at weeks of supply. Let's look. Oh, here's another stat we can look at. New listing median price. Let's look at that one. That can kind of give us a little glimpse. So this tells us how much people are listing their homes for when they put them on the market. Now it's come down over the last 2 weeks, but it's still right now $375,000. And last year it was $349,000. So more expensive homes are being listed. Or the homes that are being listed are more expensive than last year. I guess same thing, but that's somebody else had asked about that. Billy the Kid, I think, asked. So why are home prices going up, but inventory is too? Well, median list price has been going up. People are asking more and more for their homes. But there's been a lot of price cuts. It's like 20% of listings have a price cut right now nationwide. So a lot of price cuts. So is something up, to Thomas's point? Yeah, there are more homes on the market, right? Right, in Fairfield? Or is that down? Yeah, you look at Fairfield County active listings. Look at this. You're up 11, call it 12%. 510. Last year you had 456. So another 60 listings. So there are more homes on the market. The problem is that they're not usually affordable homes. And if they are affordable or they're priced right, people are buying them. And I think that is why inventory isn't amazing. Because if we go back, I guess probably, Thomas, this is probably the thing to look at the most, maybe, is let's look at Fairfield County. Yeah, look at Fairfield County. If we look at just inventory in July, according to Realtor.com data, they're actually down year over year 3%. If you look at Realtor.com data for July. This is probably the issue, though. 301 homes for sale right now. Last year, 311. Great band. But then look at 181 back in 2023, 166, 159. Look, all the way back in 2017, you had 366 homes for sale. So you're not even back at like 2017 levels, but it's definitely climbing. So I think what's up? Something's definitely up. Inventory is being built or being added, but it may not be enough to cause prices to cave or to materially come down. There could be opportunities out there still to lowball, to Thomas's point. Thanks, Thomas. I like the fact that you looked that up. That's good. All right, I got a couple more in me and I'm done. This is it right here. Yeah. Anduril. Yeah, that's them. That's that big defense company that's building a plant. So maybe that's actually going to happen, it sounds like, right? Ty Bent VT. You're looking for, Tim, what's up? I like your dog. You're looking for real property outside of Central Ohio. Yeah, you could email me if you want, see if I can help at all. Depending on where exactly you're looking to buy. I cover basically Central Ohio myself, but I have a network of realtors that I know throughout the state, throughout the country, that I can connect you with if you're outside of my expertise area as far as on the ground in Central Ohio. Stan, what's up? And solar farms taking over farmland. I'm seeing that too. Yeah, a lot of solar farms. Yep, I am seeing that. Actually, I'm doing a video coming up on billionaire companies buying Ohio farmland. Like, how much have they bought? How much is left? Who are the big names that have bought a lot of farmland? Pretty interesting stuff. Oh, the Hilltop of Columbus, I know that area, is building new low-income housing. It's insane. They buy the house, but the land the house is on is leased from the city. Huh. That's interesting. I wonder why they do that. So they don't own the land. Yikes. Wonder why they're doing that. Tax reasons? Not sure. I'm building a new house myself on vacant land. Congratulations. That's awesome. Good for you. That's really cool. I commend you, man. I'm not sure I don't think I could do that. I mean, I don't have the guts to do something like that. I don't have the skills either. So it's cool that you do. Just join now. It's all right. You can rewatch it. What do you think of the suburbs of the I-77 corridor outside of Cleveland, like Parma, Seven Hills, Independence, Brookfield? I feel like there are a ton of demand for these. So if Brad, if you want to shoot me an email, I'll put it in the description and I can see if I can help you with those areas, because I don't think I have data that granular. But thanks for asking, Brad. Yeah, please email me. I'm happy to help. Take me a few days, maybe a week and a half to get back to you with some info, but I will. Stan, what's up? I just happened to stumble upon this channel tonight. You have a new subscriber. Great. Thank you. I appreciate it. I sincerely do. I really do. I appreciate all you guys. I get more interaction and more great comments on this Ohio channel than I do my national channel. So I have a national housing nerd channel. This is my Ohio housing nerd channel. And the housing nerd, obviously, I cover the whole country. But I created this one just for you guys, and I get great interaction. Was thinking about building a tiny house and rent them out to retirement people. I mean, we need smaller homes. So that's not a bad idea. We need smaller homes. I'll only charge $500 a month for rent. A lot of people probably take you up on that. That's pretty cheap. At least where I live, at Space Rangers Recording Studio. There seemed to be a demand for just this type of housing. There's absolutely a demand for that. Absolutely. Absolutely. Small apartments, small houses. Yeah. I mean, you go into like, there's some of them in Newark, but if you really see them in like Linden and Columbus, you see them in the Hilltop too, and all over Columbus. You see these like little postage stamp World War II houses built, right after World War II in like the 50s, little brick houses or non-brick. And a lot of times 2-bed, 1-bath, 3-bed, 1-bath, 1,000 square foot, fenced in backyard. That's like, those are great houses. Maybe 500 square feet, 600 square feet. Anduril, right. Palmer Lucky's Drone Company. Is it a drone company? Is that what they do? I'll have to check into that. And paid 1.5%. What's this? Can you look at Garden Daily says, can you look at, is that Brea? Is that how you say it? Brea? Let me look at that one real quick. And then I'm kind of done. Yeah, I don't know. Let me look. I'm not sure I have that one. There we go. All right, new listings. What are they doing? Well, you got more new listings than you did last year, it looks like. Oh, wow. Of 45% in new listings. And you said, I'm sorry, I should have asked this, or I should have looked at this. Garden Daily, you said, can I look at this city? And then you said, I just made an offer on a townhouse there. Oh. I'm worried about it as it's pricey and paid 1.5%. I don't know what the 1.5% means. Well, if I don't want to get in the way of what you're trying to do or try to put stuff in your head. I'm just going to give you the data. So, new listings of homes. Oh, and you said it was a townhouse too, right? A townhouse. Okay. I'm wondering how this will go because in the Redfin data, I can actually look at townhouses only. I'm not sure what they're going to tell me. It's not going to give me the data. There's like nothing on it. Okay. So it looks like you have more new listings hitting the market in Brea. Did I say that right? Hopefully I did. Let's look at inventory though. Up 76% value. What do we got? Yeah, I mean, you've got 23 total homes for sale in that city. That's up a lot compared to last year, though there aren't that many. But let's look at median sale price. I mean, median sale price right now is $270,000. So you're like worried that your offer was too high, or you shouldn't be buying the house or the townhome. I mean, you I'm not so sure you should second guess yourself. Although it's having said that, if you haven't signed on the dotted line yet, then maybe it's not too late to get out of it if you need to. But again, I don't want to step on your toes. So you're just worried it's pricey. Hopefully you can afford it, right? That's the key. If you can comfortably afford it, if you're confident about the money that you'd be putting out every month, you have a backup plan of a slush fund and a slush fund backing up that slush fund just in case you got to fix something or whatever happens, and then plan on being in the property for a long time. Plan on being in the property for 10 plus years. So you're not worried if the market goes down a few percentage points or even 10%. You're like, oh well. And make sure you calculate all your property taxes and all your HOA fees, everything you're going to be paying into the payment. And you should lean on your realtor for that. Hopefully that helps. I don't know if it did. Oh, military drones. Wow. Yeah, that's a big need. I bet they won't have a problem selling those. Don't forget the importance of an inspection. I agree. Here we go. You paid Garden Daily 1.5% over asking. Sometimes you have to if you really want to buy that home. Sometimes you have to. And sometimes if the asking price has been discounted, and then all of a sudden, like sometimes prices will be discounted, like sellers will cut the asking price, and then all of a sudden it'll get multiple offers because it came down enough for people to make multiple offers. But I would just make sure you understand, go through the inspection thoroughly, understand the HOA, understand. Oh, you say we wouldn't buy a house in an HOA, Space Ranger. I get it, but townhouses have HOAs. So, and I like townhouses, but make sure you understand the HOA fees, the assessments. Talk to some neighbors there, knock on some doors. Hey, how's it going? You know, how do you like living in this neighborhood? You can always do that too. And then, Space Ranger said it, do inspections. Make sure you get in a full inspection and, you're not afraid to ask for things to be fixed if it needs fixed. But the key there on the over asking prices, that doesn't mean you overpaid for the townhome necessarily. It depends on your situation. If it doesn't look like there's a lot of inventory there, well, the 23, 25 homes on the market. So maybe there's not a lot out there for available. So you're like, well, I want to live in this area. There's a townhome that's available. I'm going to jump on it. Sometimes that's the way it is. But just make sure you can afford it and you've calculated all your costs in. Okay. Woo. 1 hour, 56 minutes. Not a record, but it's long. I want to thank you again for joining me. Like, subscribe to the Housing Nerd, the Ohio Housing Nerd, and email me if you need help in the Ohio housing market. I'll do whatever I can to help you out. And I hope you have a great Sunday evening, a great next week, and I'll see you again next week or weekend on this channel. I'm the Ohio Housing Nerd, and I am out. OUT out.